Welcome everybody. This is Tarun, and today we are going to speak on a very fundamental topic, that is how the future of education will be look like. Okay, so are we ready for that? Okay, so our main focus will be on how the emerging technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality, and AI are transforming the students' education and how they are creating opportunities for the developers and for schools and educators. Okay, so let me just give you a short intro about myself. My name is Tarun Sikwal and I am founder of IT Sequal company. Here we are building DesignXR, and I am 2025 pass out in BTech in computer science from GH Raisoni University, and I was gold medalist at there. And yeah, we are building this cool stuff, and let's see how we are going to get ahead in this journey. Okay, and we have recently launched we have recently organized a hackathon, that is DesignXR Hackathon 2026, where we got some great opportunities to work with international clients and like sponsors, and there were like tutors and XR enthusiasts and developers community. Okay, now as we know, the world is changing with the AI. The more opportunities are created and destroyed every single day. So but in the XR and VR industry, which we also call as spatial computing. Okay, so right now the focus, like if you know, like from the last 5 or 10 years, the more focus was on the entertainment. Okay, and particularly gaming was the one of the like in leading domain, okay, in the VR industry. But as we are growing and the more like peoples are bringing their ideas in this domain, so you have already know, like many healthcare applications are being created every day that can be used to actually, you know, perform complex experiments, okay, which is not really like like it won't be easy to, like cross section the human diagram, like human body for each and every individual student. So but with virtual reality, the healthcare domain is the one which is taking a great leap ahead. Okay, engineering, like for example, the the I would say the civil and mechanical industry, like mechanical engineering, are also taking benefit from this tech. And I recently like heard one of the like one of the company was saying that they had a opportunity to work with IIT Delhi. Okay, so there they sold around a 10 lakh plus product to the engineering school, sorry, engineering college. Okay, so they have just like building upon that. Okay, then as I already told you about the architecture, the real estate is also one of the domain which can be worked upon, right? Because right now what happens is we just visualize the the flats, okay, into the just a 2D diagrams. But with virtual reality you can actually see all the 3D model of that building or whatever the society you are like they are selling into a virtual reality. So that makes the buyer a easy option to actually, like whether they want that kind of house or how they will going to experience. Okay, so that going to be get ahead without even building it, right? And then the most important part, that is the education. Okay, and that is what we are focusing on. Okay, so that is the domain we as a startup are working ahead on this thing. Okay, as you all know that from the last 200 years we are using the same textbooks. The teachers are coming, they are giving lectures, and even the textbooks are not even, the diagrams are not even printed correctly. Okay, so they are just like blurry and that kind of things. Okay, so forget about, just wait. Okay, and as I was telling you that in the textbooks the diagrams are not even printed correctly, and forget about how they function or understanding what's actually inside it. So that we can achieve through virtual reality, and then students will able to grab each and every like part of, like, for example, human autonomy, and they can just see what how the heart actually functions. Okay, now schools have to choose an option now. Are they want still the status quo, like using the same like images and all, like panels to see and whatever the students study from that. But if you see a future ready path, okay, as we are going ahead in this domain, and one of the like Shark Tank judges or whoever, like, he has said that the schools which are not going to innovate in the VR domain, okay, they are going to be like closed. Okay, so so the meaning of saying that was to innovate, okay, to increase the admissions, because see, the parents are like, they all know that the AI is coming, and students, just by reading at the books, it won't be beneficial them for them to actually compete in the future environment where the more and more the like the competition will occur, right? So students should able to understand each and every concept, okay, and also with the like the reels and all the stuff, so the the span of the attention is also weakening, okay. So for that, students need to be like, so they cannot sit in the classroom and just see for a 1 hour of the class, okay. So for that, a virtual reality is kind of a, so that can bring a better opportunities for teachers and schools to provide student engagement, okay. As I already told you, when the student, like when the parents go to the schools for the admission, and when they see like similar kind of schools everywhere, okay, there are same parks, same teachers, same classrooms. So what makes them different? The schools need a creative innovation, okay. For example, the virtual reality labs, the science labs, where students can actually perform practical experience experiments, okay. And but while even performing the practicals, we all have gone through those same like stages where only a single person or teacher will going to perform that, and students will like see from outside, and that's all, okay. But with virtual reality, each individual students can perform their experiments and without any safety like hazards and all, okay. Then, so with virtual reality, there comes like innovative, interactive and experimental and unforgettable moments, okay. For example, exploring the human body, so that is the one of the biggest like things which we in our student life, what we have done is that we just see in the textbooks, or more to like, if you are in a better college and they have the better like opportunities, then you may have got a like plastic body kind of a thing, okay, skeleton, okay. But you cannot see from inside out, teachers didn't allow us to even touch, right? So with virtual reality, students can actually see the human heart, just imagine, and they can see the how the blood is flowing through the heart, and they can just grab in their hand. That becomes an unforgettable moment, okay, where students will able to see which is the like chamber is, the blood is flowing from where, right? And the science experiments, that is the core like fundamental of the virtual reality, because see, as we are like in this, we are building in this domain, it's not like putting everywhere AI VR and all this stuff. No, it should not be like that. The focus should be on the things which we can't build or which we can't see in a real world, that we should recreate, or that we should visualize in the virtual reality, okay. And they can build projects like even in the 3D, and so like with the AI and agentic AI, you can just build your own projects or your own concepts and visualize them into a virtual reality headset. So you can use Unity or Blender or whatever, okay. Sorry, the Unreal Engine, okay. So here is a demo which you will get it, like how the virtual reality is transforming. And so this is a, so I'll just giving you a little bit like a suggestion that I'm using more VR, okay, virtual reality, and not the extended reality word, because many of the teachers and parents, they are familiar with VR, okay. So that's why I'm using more of that, okay.
This is the heart, a powerful muscular organ that pumps blood throughout the body. This is an artery, a blood vessel that carries oxygen-rich blood away from the heart. This is the liver, a vital organ that detoxifies blood, produces bile, and stores nutrients.
Welcome to the solar system, a vast cosmic neighborhood centered around the sun. The sun is the center of our solar system. It is a massive ball of hot gas that provides. Saturn is famous for its beautiful rings made of ice and rock. It is the second largest planet in the solar system. Earth is the only known planet that supports ecosystems.
A neuron is a special cell in the nervous system that carries messages throughout the body. This is the cell body. It is the main part of the neuron and contains important structures that keep the cell alive and functioning. This is the axon. It is a long fiber that carries electrical signals away. This is the myelin sheath. It surrounds the axon and helps nerve signals travel fast. This is the Schwann cell. It creates the myelin sheath around the axon, helping nerve. This is the nucleus. It acts as the control center of the neuron and contains the genetic information needed for cell function. Synaptic terminals. Heart. A powerful muscular organ that pumps blood throughout the body. It supplies oxygen and nutrients to all organs and tissues. The heart has 4 chambers that work together to circulate.
Karan, can I ask you a question? Like, I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
want to know briefly.
yeah, sure.
Um,
Yeah, you can ask.
can you, yeah, actually, like, you're developing these applications for the schools, right?
Yeah.
So how you are like going to give them just the application that you are giving where the students can learn these are the parts like anatomy or solar system. These are the planets that we have. Okay, or you're making them to interact as well, like a game, like now how you shown taking that sun and placing into that orbit.
Okay. Okay. So let me just give you a sort like understanding of what we have, like how we are going to approach this thing. Is that first of all
Mm,
we will, like, we will set up virtual reality labs at the schools. Okay.
mm,
So
mm,
every week or as per the school's like convenience, they will going to, like have their
mm,
like practical sessions. Okay.
mm,
So students will come and they can see like whichever the syllabus, like, so right now we are following CBSE. Okay.
mm,
So whatever they are like studying in their subject, like which
mm,
chapter they are studying, that
mm,
practical will be in will be there in their virtual reality. Okay, so they can just
mm,
select that and then they can
mm.
perform. So they can
Okay.
just, so as per of their like that syllabus. Okay, so that will be there. Okay,
Mm,
so it can be
mm,
like a more like a puzzle kind of thing. Okay, so
okay.
yeah, so students will able to, like interact with them and they will understand it, like instead of just reading about it. Okay, so that's the
Okay.
whole goal. Okay.
Okay, but before this, are we showcasing them that this is the whole thing, like what are the body parts that are available in the human anatomy? And then after learning that use case, then people will go to this puzzle game, huh?
Yeah, yeah, right, right. So
Okay,
yeah, that's like up to the creativity of the developer. Okay, and also
okay.
like the teacher as well, like they will give you like the subject matter experts. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
first there will be a structured, like all the parts will be like there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then they will just like randomly will be there in the like space, and then student have to, yeah, manually pick them and place it the correct position. So
Okay.
that's how
Mm-hmm.
the thing is. But right now, like
Oh,
while developing this, I didn't thought much about that because we all
mhm.
know which part is where, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, your understand like the way your question is valid, and we should first teach them what the end product will be look like, and then they should build kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so as I was telling you about the career opportunities, so as we are building in this domain, we all know that, like many of you are already aware of that, XR developers and the spatial designers, and the word which is most like in the market is the digital twin. Okay, so digital twin is something which is a replica of the already, like a machinery or a factory or whatever, like a pre-regis. Just wait, actually I should make a admin to somebody else. There's somebody joining. Okay. Okay, so digital twin, you all know that. So for example, there is a factory, okay, so which is like working in their like basement or whatever. So how the products are built, that is replicated into the virtual environment. Okay, so that the decision maker will get to understanding about like how to make it more robust. Okay, so those kind of things, this is still in the early age, but in the industry people are still like evaluating it and see if it has potential. Okay, AI development, many of you are like aware of that, the marketing. Okay, so the marketing agencies are like working on the AI driven ads. Okay, so that they can just like put a scanner into the like a newspaper, and then the whoever like the users will going to just tap on that on their camera, and they can see and visualize a like new, like a new emerging ad kind of things. Okay, 3D artist, they are the one who create the 3D assets. So whatever the assets you have seen till so far, which are created by a 3D artist. Okay, so they use Blender or Maya, those kind of software, and they build their meshes and sculpting and animations they done. Okay, then there is a product manager. So this is the one who gets the requirement from the clients and the customers, and then he or she, they give it to the team, and they build upon that. Okay, then VR developers, so they are mostly one who works on the core modules of the development of virtual reality. So they can be gamers and all that stuff. Okay, then there is a metaverse designers. So they are the one who are using the high level architecture. Okay, so how the user will onboard and all those kind of things. Okay. Okay, then there is a simulation engineer. So they work on a specific simulation part. For example, fire safety. So those kind of simulation, if somebody wants to build, so they use those kind of things. Okay. Then there are the immersive learning designers and level designers. So they, what they do is they basically just put all the assets and all the assets in the Unity or whatever the software. They just do it like they just keep put it all the like assets in the scene. They do no coding and all that stuff. So they just put it so where the like asset should be there in the scene. So that's all is their job. Okay, now, so this is a just a chart which I will like to give you a brief understanding of that. you know as we have like used like various like like just going back to the era where we have all used the Google Cardboard, right? So we have like many of you will have like viewed the 360-degree videos. Okay, so we just put it in our like cardboard and we just move around. Okay, so that's it, that is called as passive consumption. Okay, and then active consumption or active engagement is something which student has a input with. Okay, so they can just they can make changes in the virtual environment. So the more you will change, the more you will interact with the objects, the more engagement will be there. Okay, and then there is a high retention and low retention. Okay, so we have like during our hackathon session, there is somebody like there is a friend of us, Deepak, has given a wonderful like session on that UGC. Okay, user generation generated content. So how to like we have built a something. Okay, and if somebody like have uses our product and they just said like wow and they move on, they never come back. So how to bring them back? So that is the more like experience that is memorable, and this is also less hurdle. Okay, so as you all know that just to try a VR headset, you have to go through like just turn on your headset, and then like scan your room, and then you put the like headset and like open your app and do all the stuff. So it becomes very hurdle like handy. Okay, so for that, so that bringing a low retention. Okay, so that is the one thing which everybody should focus on while building. Okay, and for teachers, it's often like observed that when a new app or new service or new applications comes, right, it becomes very handy for them as well, because it becomes like they have already few systems. Okay, now we are giving them one more system, like it becomes very difficult for them to understand first. Okay, and then use them daily. That is also one of the things which they should like work upon that. Okay, then the schools. Okay, so suppose we have like launched a pilot project at the school. Okay, if that doesn't work, like it completely breaks. Okay, so it becomes very like difficult for them, for their reputation, and like teacher, students and their parents becomes like very new. Okay, so for that they are also become reluctant. Okay, to for the change. So they're just like, okay, let's chal raha hai to chalne do, kind of uh, like that kind of things. Okay, then beyond learning. Okay, so as we are like as a students, what we do is we just study. Okay, but as we are like moving ahead in this domain, okay, like of like the internet. Okay, where the creators, okay, the social media content creators are the one who are leading right now. Okay, so everybody should know how to explain, how to like give their like ideas a voice, to communicate them better. Okay, so those kind of things we are doing. Okay, then the next step is to build actually the immersive world. So students will not just like read it or understand in the virtual reality, they can actually build their own like custom modules. Okay, so that like they can interact with that, and they can share it with other friends as well. Okay, now what's our DesignXR vision for this immersive technology? Okay, so our focus is on like it's never was on the VR or AR or AI. Okay, it was on the students, how to make them learn better. That's it. Okay, so if we crack that, then everything will going to settle. Okay, now for schools, we are focusing like we have already like given like lectures and to the schools, and give them the like demo kind of things, and so that we are partnering with schools. Okay, then teachers are the most like important person, because they are the one who are going to handle students as well as the our product. Okay, so that's everybody should focus on the how the teachers is thinking. Okay, then parents are the one who are actually going to pay for it. Okay, because schools revenue come from that. Okay, so if we put the parents in our confidence, then there is a thing that, because see, convincing the parents is the most hardest part. Okay, because right now see, in our childhood days, many of you have like listened that we should like stay away from TV around 20 feet or something, right? But now we are putting that VR head glasses into directly on the face. Okay, so it becomes very like challenging for us as well to convince them. Okay, that's why we are not allowing like the students which are 10-year old. Okay, so less than 10-year old. Okay, then for students, and one thing which we observed is that like I have seen somewhere, and also like seen into the practical life, that students are just like playing with it. Okay, so that is the one thing which everybody should like focus on, because see, if they are just playing like a game. Okay, so it becomes like no use. Okay, so that's why we should make them understand. So after completing the VR module, they should able to understand what was that, and it's not just like a fun experience. Okay, now this is a question for all the institution, schools and colleges. How are you going to do this innovation? Are you going to lead it, or you will follow at the end? Okay, So if you have any questions, you can ask and we can discuss like your ideas, and we can just give a brief of what your say into this domain. Anybody, if they want to like give their suggestions into this topic, they are free to do it.
Karan, just one question. Like, do you have any demo created for this kind of things?
For what?
I mean, to showcase to these schools, like any anatomy or something, human anatomy.
Yeah, so this is the one
These
we
are
have.
the
So
things. Mhm.
yeah, this is, you see, right? And let me
Yes,
just,
yes.
yeah, so this is the like one of the module, and then there are few of our videos which where we shown this to the schools.
Hmm.
Let me just see if I can find any.
Like accordingly, you are categorizing as for the standard, like a first standard, what all the topics will come, that will be in a one application or how it is going to be.
Yeah, so this will be a, like a full user flow. So first the school will onboard, and then
Mm-hmm.
so whatever the curriculum, like as per the curriculum, so they are like
Mm-hmm.
subject wise. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
first there is class wise. So we are starting with fifth standard, so fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth, and 10th. Okay, then in the
Okay.
fifth standard there will be the subject. We are currently
Mm-hmm.
targeting on the science. Okay, because this
Science.
is the
Okay.
one which is the most important. Okay,
Mm.
to we can explore like more things into the
Yes,
like
yes.
VR,
Mm.
right? And in the
Yeah.
science chapter, so there will be different chapters. So in
Mm-hmm.
every chapter they will go and they will see the concepts, and
Mm-hmm.
every concept will be, there will be one or two modules, or how we are going to
Okay.
do this. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how it is characterized.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, anyone else? Taha, do you have any suggestions, or like do your college school like college also have a VR headset or VR lab, anything like that?
Yes, I'm from same college, DesignXR, and I'm member of the earlier club. So I know some, I know about here, and I met you also. That time, this was the same meeting we attended in ARVR club.
Okay, okay. Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Swapnil, do you have anything? Okay.
Uh, Tarun, just a question. Sorry to ask you. Like earlier, when I was working in another companies, I we got some requirements like how we are going to install this or something like there will be a students like a 60 members in the class, right? So how you are going to implement like you are going to give them a cardboard or VR headsets, how it is going to be implemented?
Okay, so it actually depend on the school's budget first of all,
Mm-hmm.
and the second
Okay.
thing is that each VR lab will be like, as we are building a product for MetaQuest 3 and 3S. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
our focus will be on giving them a 3S, because
Mm-hmm.
they don't need much computation and like much larger storage for now. Okay,
Okay.
so
Mm-hmm.
we'll give them a MetaQuest 3S, and that cost
Mm-hmm.
around 30 to 35,000. And
Mm.
okay, so and also that depends upon the how much school like they want. Okay, so if they want just a one VR
Number
headset,
of headsets. Uh-huh.
yeah, so
Okay.
they
It
can
depends
go.
upon their requirement.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if they take more, then they can just you know at a time, at a single time, they can like give
Yeah.
lecture to like different many
One.
schools, many
Mm-hmm.
students.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, guys, perfect. Then let me just stop my recording first.